no. But one thing I would say musically, yeah, I can tell that, you know, straight away you're a pianist, you know, because your breakdowns, I have to say, bro, are real cool. You know, 'cause especially these days, like songs are like one dimensional, and they moved away from bridges and breaking down properly, and you know what I mean, and whatever. The way you break down, you know when they say they got the invisible guitar, just get the invisible keyboard out and try and follow you. You know what I'm saying? So no, absolutely fantastic with that. Now, let me just make sure of this, because you know I spoke to your colleague Hannah, and she's and I'm getting the vibe that you actually record your own stuff.
Yeah,
is that right?
So I produce it, I record it, I mix it, I master it.
Bro, that's like so. Bro, that is some crazy. Okay, right. So, guys, I have to clap my hand for that. I have to clap my hand, man. You know, yo, bro, like, because it's very hard to produce, record, and mix at a good standard and not get it wrong. You know what I mean? So, bro, well done, bro. Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? And to master as well, bro.
Yeah.
I know the technology's there. We got our studio here, but like, bro, it's hard for one man to do all that, bro, and pull it off with creativity.
It took a while. It took a while to master, honestly.
What your bro?
I remember
your wire or my wire is two different things, you know, bro.
Nah, the first track I ever tried mastering, I had 27 attempts. And it took me 27 attempts to master that first track, and the final master was still whack. So it took some time. I think it was Epiphany. I remember I mastered my track Epiphany. Like when I listen to it now, I love the message that the song is, but I hate that master because it's like it reminds me. I mean, I love it and hate it. So I love it because it reminds me that if I had never started back then I would never be where I am right now. Yeah. But I also hate it because it's like the worst master I've ever done. It is so bad, but most people can't really hear it. So
yeah, man. And I think, well, I just learned from just going to studio, spent hours watching it with my friend master my stuff and whatever, and just learned from there, man. You know what I mean? And I was coming from more of a mathematical viewpoint, you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, sound is sound. I was looking at the maths of whole mixing and mastering. So, but anyway, before we go, yeah, man, before we go into all that, I was like, why you got? Is this about? Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Paul the Messenger. Don't worry, guys. Yeah, but listen, right. So in terms of like musically, we got a vibe now. Who is your right? There's debates in the studio about who is your major influence, yeah? And before you do the proverbial, oh yeah, man, I just woke up and I sounded like this. that is a rarity, bro. Everyone has the little influences. Now, when you was like 10, 11, 12, growing up listening to music and whatever, who was you listening to at the time and whatsoever? Which artist you was always playing and trying to mimic?
No, see, if I'm honest with you, so I didn't really start listening to specific artists till I was like 14, 15 maybe.
Okay, cool.
Growing up, my mother would always, my mom was the music head, right? So my mom loves music, and she would always play music when she's cooking, when she's cleaning. And I used to listen to a lot of, because she listens to a lot of like old school, Don Moen, we're talking Natalie Grant, Toby Mac from back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, like that kind of music. And I grew up around that. Now, the first exposure to like a gospel track, because she introduced me to like 10th Avenue North and all these bands that I'm not sure even you've heard of, but the first like song that was Christian that sounded remotely like hip hop that I ever heard was Burn For You by Toby Mac. I heard that track and I was blown away. And I remember binge listening to Toby Mac. I never really wanted to be like him per se. But I just really loved his music. The first artist who I ever, and this is me being completely honest, who I ever listened to and thought, this is my guy, was Andy Mineo, hands down. I listened to him and I was like, Andy is my guy. And I've been listening to him ever since. Like, I'm a hardcore Andy Mineo fan. Hardcore. And then from Andy, you know, then I was introduced to Mali music, and the first song of his that I heard was Listen, Lord, if I could buy you a gift, song because it was really big.
Yeah.
I listened to that, and I became a huge fan of Manny. Like, I still am. I loved his voice. I loved his runs. I just thought he was an amazing singer. And I never really used to take time to like copy his singing, but I used to love the way he sang. Ironically, everyone says I sound like him now.
Nah,
so,
you sure, mate? You sure? No, I never thought that straight away. I was thinking you sound like Fred Hammond, mate. You know what I mean?
Everyone says, Paul, you sound exactly like Mally. And you know what? I can understand why they say that, because I love the guy. But again, it's hard for me to understand because I never sat down and like try to copy him. I just really liked his music. So I guess it must have influenced me a lot more than I thought, you know, because people are like, you sound like Mally. And at first I didn't really believe them until one time my younger brother was listening to some music in his earphones. Yeah. And I was like, because it sounded like me. And I was like, dude, like that sounds like a song of mine, but I can't really tell which one it is. He was like, nah, Paul, it's not you. It's Mally. And I was like, oh, yeah.
That's when you definitely get stuck in that motion anyway still, yeah. But no, definitely Mally, like, you know, I did we did GR Live with him quite a few years back now, and
oh really?
Yeah. This guy with Mally music, what I loved about Mally was how would I describe it? He is obsessed with his music, bro. Like, ridiculous. Not in a negative sense, but perfection. He had a live band, and we did and he was there listening to his new beats and everything like that still, bro. He was always producing, had his laptop always on him, and he was on it 24/7. Yeah. So his success does not surprise me. Yeah, because the guy put it in 100, bro. Put it absolutely in. So, you know what I mean? You know, and that's my encouragement to yourself, bro. Put it in. You know what I mean? You put it in, and you'll be definitely nice. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that I would definitely encourage you to do. You know what I mean? Because that guy really put it in. But that's no surprise. People say Mally music. Mike, you got a question at all, or you good?
No, I'm good.
You good? Sorry, I just got my a guy with Michael Passan. You know, he's the one who believes he introduced me into your music.
Of course I
did. He was like, "Yo, what did you get?"
You know what's interesting though?
Go on.
A lot of people. It's funny because, like, as I've grown, the comparisons were first predominantly Mally, and then someone told me that, oh, you sound like Xavier Omar. If you've heard of Xavier Omar. Someone told me I sounded like Xavier Omar.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm seeing Michael's face twist up there and smile.
Yeah, and what's interesting about Xavier Omar is I have a song called Insecure. So, keep on telling you you're beautiful, but you don't believe me. That song was actually inspired by his song Insecure. So when someone says, "Oh, you sound like Xavier Omar," I'm like, okay, I get it, because I've taken a lot of notes from his writing style and the way he approaches his music. And then this other dude commented and told me that I sound like, you know, Khalid, the guy who sounds "Send me your location." This person said I sounded like a Christian version of him, and I was like, okay, see, now I'm confused because none of these guys sound alike. So
Yeah.
How do I sound like all of them when they don't even sound alike, you know?
And you know what as well, bro? Because I would say that you're going down the route of non-commerciality as well, which is great and fantastic. And I think this is the season for that, and this is the season as well, bro, to be straight up as well, I think too many artists are dumbing down the message to be successful, and I just believe that people don't rate that. People don't want to hear that.
No one rates that.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone just want to hear, you tell me your message, I'll tell you my message. You know what I mean? My truth. You know what I mean? And if you got no truth to give, and what's happening now is that for me, like, people's truths are kind of like going all over the place.